with the game advantage, looking to close out the series with a 2-0. It's up to Nova here to try and tie it back and see what they have in their back pocket when it comes to this second game draft.
You know what I want to see? The Pantheon. The Pantheon has been banned for, I believe, last week. But now it hasn't been exactly appearing in the radar of the teams tonight. So perhaps they can work on the Pantheon when it comes to Nova. It not only enables such a really nice laning phase, such early game damage, but you can also try to influence the lanes come level 6, maybe even carry an extra teleport for just that double presence. And with that said, a lot of the teams who don't succeed individually in the lane like to play triple teleports just to overwhelm the opposition with, you know, the numbers advantage instead to get ahead.
Well, this is pretty much the exact same draft
Oh.
as game 1. As bans are going to remain the same, that means Unified gets the Senna once again, so it's up to Nova here. I want to see something different. Take the Kench away. Take the Kench away from Kaiwing.
Oh, because Kaiwing was phenomenal. Either if not on the Bard, he's just amazing on the Kench. So it actually checks out too. You have a really nice safety for the Varus in lane. And Nova did that level 3 strategy. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right.
It's rude of me. Apologies there. But Nova, I don't understand this Renekton priority anymore for Rocky. I have to say, like, he knows other champions, right? Like, it's come to that point now where Rocky has always locked in, by the way, blind picked a Renekton multiple times in this split, and sometimes has been punished heavily. And like we mentioned, that means Kaiwing gets this Kench again. I would love to see the Kench for Pop so he can try and keep Mixcross safe so they can use that Abyssal Voyage to move around the map. Again, you're just giving Talon exactly what they want. And it's the exact same main lane.
Hanabi can maybe not go for the Mordekaiser, maybe change it up a little bit and probably play the Quinn again. It has been mostly the bane of this Renekton pick, or just any of the melee damage dealers on the side, the top side. I'm actually thrown off right now. For Nova, this is a comp that is definitely really nice to execute, but at the same time, in terms of the laning phase, we've seen how tough it is.
And for me, like, my biggest question here is
banned.
The Quinn gets banned out, so they're not gonna have to deal with that. But you've shown both your solo lanes when you have red side, you have counter pick available to you, and they opt to just go ahead and counter pick the support, the jungle. I'm not 100% certain what the plan is here from Nova, but it's opened them up to now having to resort into the same ban. Like, I'm gonna have to say no, Pop. I do not want to see. Okay,
it's different. Okay,
it's different.
At least it's
different.
Yumi,
but what's your engage here? You're really heavily relying on G4 or Rocky to jump in, but if they fall in behind, it's just GG.
That is true. It will depend on what jungler they're gonna pick. Olaf is actually open, so perhaps that's what Nova is planning to set up for with the usual Olaf and Yumi pickup. So for Talon, since they've secured already, you know, their jungler, can't deny that away anymore. Now they're for the mid laner of Candy. At this point, it's one of those things where either you can pick up the Azir, since basically the Akali has been banned out.
I would go with you. I'd say Azir in this mid lane to equal out a bit more consistent damage when it comes to the late game, and it's pretty much saying Talon. On their side, they're asking Nova, can you end this game before 35 minutes? We've seen time and time again, they've not been able to. And if it hits that 35-minute mark, Talon should probably just roll over Nova, unless they have something special planned. Maybe this is the plan, the Silas into the jungle, or possibly Pantheon, vice versa, if it gets locked in.
Yeah. And I was actually expecting the Olaf pick to be paired with the Yumi, but I suppose it could be just the same. You're going to be in the middle of the fight, and that would mean the last chapter will be easily used as an engage tool or a hard CC tool. But I wanted the Pantheon. I was expecting it to be mid lane for that laning phase, but instead I'm going to see a jungle.
All right. This does allow Nova, if they want to, pre-level 6 to really try and nail down Hanabi, or are they going to put G4 on the Pantheon mid and they want to put Ryan on the Sylas?
Yeah, it does make more sense. Definitely your laning phase. It's going to be tough for Candy for sure at the early phases of the game, considering that, especially when you already have consumed your cooldowns, it will immediately enable G4 to just do an all-in, or vice versa. If G4, if ever Candy wants to go an all-in, it's just easily blocked by your E coming from the Pantheon. So it works really, really well into the early game, most especially.
Well, we'll see whether or not this change-up of draft is going to be enough for Nova to at least force a Game 3 here. Currently looking at getting eliminated down into the lower bracket of playoffs. Talon, though, they're setting their sights toward AHQ in the next round. If they're able to take home the victory on Game 2 here, make it a quick 2-0, and get prepped for Sunday's matchup. We'll see, though, whether or not Nova want to go down without a fight as we load on to the Rift for Game 2.
This is the first time we're going to be seeing a Sylas in the jungle in the PCS in general. The Pantheon, though, in the jungle is a different story. We've seen that once already. But this, though, I really like this different pickup coming from the side of Nova, considering we thought that it was going to be the same, but looks like the difference is basically the lower part of the map for Nova.
30 seconds until
We already see Talon, grouped up as a 5-man unit. Maybe looking for a play here, but no. Looks like Nova aren't even going to go for the invade. I'm interested to see how Ryan performs here on the Sylas. I think this is the first time we've seen him on the Sylas, and I think it's the first Sylas jungle we've actually had in the PCS.
It is. It is definitely the first Sylas jungle we're going to be seeing. But for Pantheon, it has been a little bit 50-50 in terms of performance-wise as a champion in the whole tournament. But it does enable a couple of snowballs. At least you can add a +1 when it comes to trying to get this lane ahead, get Rocky ahead. And instead of just the jungler, you just add in a little bit more to sort of counter that, and Candy cannot do anything aside from having that teleport, of course, to influence and try to match the aggression coming from G4.
So with that, Nova is going to be starting on the bot side of the map. No real deep vision coming out from Talon, so again, both junglers are going to be hidden within the jungle themselves, but both starting on the red side, so they'll probably mirror each other. As this mid lane in particular, G4, getting really aggressive here onto Candy. Candy, though, able to trade back a couple auto attacks with the soldier.
Yeah, trying to perfectly make it an equal amount of trade in terms of HP, especially if you're trying to set up for that level 3 burst, considering you do have that ignite on the side of G4. I think we did see a few times where some of the Pantheon would actually also carry teleport. But now he's after that kill, so hopefully we get to see this work out, considering it was such a gruesome defeat at the previous game.
Yeah, Game 1, it was to say it was rough, I think, is sugarcoating, actually, because it was a bit of a demolition of Nova coming out from Talon. This time around, though, Rocky, I think this is a matchup that if they are going to try and get him ahead, it should snowball pretty heavily, because if you're able to try and get those kills early against the Maokai, boom, bada bing, you can cut down this tree a bunch of times in lane. That's what you're aiming for. If they don't, then I think there's a bit of trouble here, especially with the fact that you're pretty much heavily relying solely on G4 to be roaming around the map with this Pantheon.
Exactly, and it is going to be the perfect setup, considering that that's not a Mordekaiser now, so in terms of the potential kill, it's not going to be as apparent, it's not going to be there as a Mordekaiser, so that is definitely good news for Nova Esports. Team fight, though, that is going to be scary coming from Talon if the game progresses a little bit more. So earlier, you saw a little bit of cancel coming from Candy to just slow down the back of G4 from earlier, since he wanted to push the wave a little bit more. So that was quite cheeky coming from Candy.
I see Ryan maybe wanting to look for this as he is pathing. He is going to get spotted out immediately, though, by Hanabi, as he had that sixth sense in the back of his head saying, you know what, something feels fishy, as Rocky's going to try and push in the wave. Hanabi trying to clear out what he can. But luckily for him, Ryan's actually going to go back to base, so Rocky only going to get that Demolish proc onto the tower. Oh, not bad from Hanabi, getting a quick turret help.
Yep, and as well as, yeah, additional vision coming from Talon there in the form of a sapling, I believe, on Hanabi's side. So in terms of potential dives that Ryan can do, he will be immediately spotted. G4, still level 4.
Looking for a dive here, but you can already see River pathing immediately toward this top side of the map as G4 always going to show himself, but guess what? It's a little bit too late as now River's going to show, and unfortunately, that is not what you wanted to happen. First blood going on over to Hanabi, and now they're going to go ahead and try and take down G4, at least force out a flash possibly, as now Candy joins in onto the fight. River flash still available. Does he pull the trigger? He finds himself the knock up, and with that, it's going to be 2 kills on the top side going over to Talon.
I am shocked, mainly because Nova Esports is, wait, it's not over. They tried to do something at bot side. But yeah, this is not supposed to happen considering that this is Nova's plan to begin with. I thought G4 is going to gank with Ryan to make that numbers advantage just in case that the counter gank was going to be there from River, and it was. And Talon, one step ahead of Nova Esports.
Entirely, because the fact that Ryan knows exactly where to place himself in vision because he knows how G4 is going to try and path in that brush. If G4 is even a little bit closer south, he will see River every single time. So unfortunately, it's just really good scouting coming out from Talon here, and you got to commend Big Fafa pretty much telling them that is a set play. That is Big Fafa saying during draft they're going to try and dive him level 4, be there to interrupt him.
Yeah, and it's not. It definitely checks out considering that, okay, Pantheon will probably wait till, I don't know, level 6, but not really considering that Rocky was quite pushed. Hanabi was quite pushed in his own lane. It was open for a dive. But yeah, Talon playing this game really, really well. Even an Executioner's early just to counter some of these early fights just in case, you know, Ryan is involved and even Rocky. So with that, it's an early pickup.
And you kind of miss this window now if you want to try and dive Hanabi. Sure, you can get the level 6 from G4, but with the Nature's Grasp, Hanabi can give himself a couple windows of opportunity to escape some of the aggression that will come out from Rocky, and as long as he's able to keep near full health, it's going to be very hard to kill this Maokai. You've kind of lost this opportunity to make Rocky that snowball when it comes to the map, and G4 also expending so many resources and time toward the top side of the map means Candy's able to keep even in lane.
Exactly, and Candy also bringing teleport, therefore able to match the supposed numbers advantage that Nova is trying their best to set up. There is another window though where G4 will have his ult, Candy will not have his teleport in time, so that could be something that Nova can take advantage of when it comes to at least sort of equalizing their losses from earlier.
Like that, we're going to see some pings come down toward the bot side of the map. Maybe G4 looking for a play, but instead the Dragon is going to be started on the side of Nova. Only a Cloud Drake that Talon will lose out, so a little extra cooldown reduction onto the ultimate, but nothing too much to worry about here as Mixed Cross and Pop were able to get priority involved.
Yeah, this is actually a perfect opportunity to get the Dragon, so they don't have to trade objectives when the Rift Herald spawns later on, in actually a few seconds. And therefore, Nova can look into at least getting 2 early objectives if they manage to get a single kickoff, which is possible because, again, they have so much CC, so much early game damage, especially coming from this Pantheon. So we'll see whether or not they're able to execute that.
G4 going to get a little bit aggressive here. Candy does have ultimate available, ends up pushing G4 over toward the side. In comes River, and you know what's going to happen. Candy, though, gets himself to safety, but not safe enough as he will get taken down. Rocky committing a lot here to at least try and get a kill in the mid lane. Meanwhile, topside, though, is going to get pushed in by Hanabi.
And that's going to be one turret play given towards Hanabi there. They do get 1 kill at least, and the kill will go to Rocky, so it is going to be the usual, get that 2 kills towards the Renekton, and then possibly enough to at least secure the Rift Herald. And this is a good delivery too, and G4 had no choice but to just face River there. But this is the plan that I wanted to see. It's just that trio with Ryan, Rocky, and G4 making the plays, making the burst kills. And we saw that at least once, so hoping to see that more again as the game progresses.
Meanwhile, this bot lane, we didn't even get to mention it. on the side of Talon, they are not even running a heal at all, because obviously you're running a Senna, but there isn't even an aggressive summoner spell coming out from Kaiwing. He's actually gone teleport, where this Tom Kench can now make moves around the map, try and come in for these plays, especially toward the top side, where they're going to continually try and dive Hanabi. So that just gives Hanabi some extra safety on this Maokai and more opportunities for them to trade back kills as G4 trying to get aggressive here, and that's one way to do it. Gets a nice combo onto Candy, bringing him to about half health.
Yeah, and this is what I am expecting definitely on towards this Pantheon pick, considering that your whole rotation is actually on a very relatively low cooldown, so you can keep sort of doing that, keep rinse and repeating until Candy is chunked enough. Problem is, Talon has been sort of keeping the wave in a more even form in the mid lane, so for G4 to fully take advantage of that lane is not possible at the moment. Meanwhile, for Rocky, he's going to be going back again to base, and Hanabi will be pushing further as well. Oh, guess not.
Currently just kind of sticking by there to at least soak up the wave. G4 was looking for a roam, but he ended up popping the bloom and giving away his position. He does know that that top side river has been warded, so he's going to have to use his ultimate from his side of the jungle to try and make it happen. You see Ryan and G4 got a position to try and steal out some camps away from River at the very least, as it's been a bit quiet, but River posturing toward this bot lane and possibly looking for the jump onto Mixed Cross and Pop, but ends up just backing away.
Possibly even for a counter gank, as Ryan is nearby as well. And I think the potential steal is the Emperor's Divide just to put Candy in an awkward spot. So that would be the perfect ult to steal, and as well as Rivers, just in case he does a counter gank.
All right, so they do see now River's going to show himself, and speaking of counter gank, there's River. They're going to take away the Emperor's Divide. You also got Rocky, who's pathed all the way down to mid lane once again. No teleport available, and that's going to allow Hanabi at least to pressure in onto the tower, and G4 got to be careful as he takes a little chunk of damage from the Azir.
Ooh, G4 having to back away. I think Candy spots this out. We'll have to see. As River already starting to herald. Rotation already from Nova bot lane.
Nova's bot lane is here. Mixed Cross ended up rushing the Executioners immediately in this game, so that's going to slow down his build a little bit, especially on that Varus. Pop with Ryan, looking to contest possibly this Rift Herald. Rift Herald, though, is going to go in favor of Nova. It's a nice steal coming out from Ryan. Going to pick up the Rift Herald. Mixed Cross ends up using his ultimate. Pop going to use his own. G4 on the back line, but it's such a confused fight from both sides. G4 tries to jump on in onto the Azir, but Candy's going to be taking safety. And there you go. It's a triple kill coming out for the Jarvan. And they go over the side of the wall. Mixed Cross is going to get taken out. And it's a Rift Herald for 4 kills on River.
That is wild! Jarvan, 4 kills at this point of the game. This is really, really wild. And, I mean, there is a steal coming from Nova, at least slowing down, like not losing a lot out of there. I mean, they did get 4 kills, but at the same time, at least lessen the damage and just denying that Rift Herald.
Like, luckily, at least you're putting these kills on to the Jarvan. Maybe not the best person to get these kills on. You maybe wanted to put a couple more on Unified. My question is, G4 ulted about 10 feet. He could have walked into this fight to actually have a bigger impact. I don't know if that was a mixed click, but overall, it's just not the play Nova are looking for.
They probably wanted to get closer to the backline, except that, you know, Unified managed to reposition already, so only Kaiwing was there to be found, and G4 just ended up walking a few meters anyways, and it's just one of those things where you just wanted to make an impact. Oh, but G4 close to dying. Yeah.
Be careful. Meanwhile, oh, we got Ryan able to secure the Dragon. Meanwhile, though, it's going to be the Kench and the rest of the side from Talon trying to answer. Is it Stopwatch Glore coming out from the squad? Kaiwing still alive, and Unified able to find the kill onto G4. Those are 2 very low health bars on the side of Talon, but Rocky, he baits himself in. He's going to get taken on down. Ryan tries to go aggressive, and unfortunately, if you are a TIE fan, this is tough to watch, as it's going to be 11 kills in favor of Talon. Make it 12, make it an ace. Talon ripping apart Nova.
You can tell Pop wanted at least one kill, wanted to at least kill Kaiwing, as Nova invested so much seeing the support very low and not even getting a kill after so much invested already. It all started over at the mid lane where they wanted to start a fight with Hanabi. Unfortunately, Candy was there nearby while Nova was starting Dragon, and there was no steal, but Talon, after that fight again from Rift Herald, they're quite ahead, and as you can see, River had to last so long and he didn't even die.
Yeah, because the thing is, with Kaiwing on his Kench, he's able to save his allies so many times. We talk about possibly banning this champion away from him, prevent him from doing this. But because there's been little to no pressure coming out of Nova, River only had to use his stopwatch then. He's had his stopwatch available this entire time, and he was able to hold on to it for the second Dragon fight.
Exactly, and now he's 507 on the Jarvan with a 500 gold bounty on his head, and that also, the same goes for some of the Talon squad, except for the support. And yeah, you saw the desperation, Pop putting a ward over that Dragon pit just to try and spot out Pop, and the Q managed to hit, but it's not enough, and with Kaiwing again paired with this Senna, definitely his tankiness is just going to be sped up, considering that's how it plays out. So most of the farm will go to the comp Kench earlier on until the support item is complete for Unified.
Unfortunately now for Nova, it's a 5,000 gold lead in favor of Talon. They got themselves a silver lining, the first brick gold bonus as they took down the tower in top lane with the second Rift Herald, but options are starting to look a bit dire here. This was a team that was supposed to be aggressive early, looking for plays nonstop with this Pantheon, but it just hasn't come through, and unfortunately now G4 may be caught out if he's not careful. Emperor's Divide going to push him on back into the knockup from River. It's tic-tac-toe. It's simple as that. Candy picks up the kill.
That is quite unfortunate, and G4 not able to do Pantheon things earlier on. I mean, he tried on top side, but Talon is just so good at reading what Nova wants to do in the game, so they're basically one step ahead and getting another kill off of G4.
There we go. We're going to take another look here as you saw Candy pushes in the tower. It's just an easy alley-oop over to Ryan.
Yep, nice pass on towards River, considering he has quite a huge amount of gold in his pocket, and therefore, for River, this game is really, really good for Talon. Yeah, they're on fire. Talon's on fire.
For River, this is beautiful. You know, 5-0-8. Meanwhile, bot lane, Hanabi's going aggressive against Rocky. Like, Rocky, that's a big tree. And you also got the Kench coming on by. Unfortunately, he's going to get caught out. Unify is waiting for him over towards the sideline. Meanwhile, they were able to shut down the Azir. Rocky's going to get taken down in a side lane.
Yep, timing, picking up the kill. Talon able to invest a lot on bot side since no Baron hasn't spawned just yet, so they can afford to do that. Meanwhile, Ryan, on the other hand, will try to at least keep up the pace by just trying to get more of the jungle. Oh, was there a sneaky kill?
Yeah, it comes in with the Pantheon. There you go.
Oh, nicely done. Yeah, he was hugging the wall, and the ward at that tri-brush managed to catch him just porting back. So, yeah, that is unfortunate, but, you know, Nova will take that.
You take that. That's a decent shutdown going over, at least to Ryan. So you take what you can. That's what you want to see from this composition. You want to see this Pantheon using that ultimate pretty much as often as possible, trying to get picks like that. And for Talon, if not careful, they can lose gold lead very easily if they keep getting members picked off left and right with these bounties. Does give Nova a breath of life. We'll see, though, whether or not Talon wishes to squash that out immediately with the Infernal now about to spawn.
True. I mean, they do have... This is the phase in where Talon... Oh, dear.
There we go. That's a lot burned on Kaiwing, though, as now the re-engage comes back out from Talon. That's going to be Cataclysm. Pop's already left away from G4. Ryan's trying to get onto the back line. They still use everything onto the Kench. Here comes Rocky. Emperor's Divide, though, denies him entrance, and Candy will take him down with the assistance of Kaiwing.
That was 5 people diving onto the Kench.
Oh,
unfortunately, Pop has nowhere to cling on to, and will just have to fall as well alongside with the members of Nova Esports. And yeah, that's the thing. We did mention Kaiwing on the Kench paired with the Senna. He can afford to be tankier early on because, again, gold is for him at this point of the game. So imagine investing so much and not even close to eliminating Kaiwing. Must be really, really painful on the side of Nova.
Just look at the tunnel here. Rocky wants to try and jump in on him, and it's like, well, Candy still has his ultimate, so Rocky's just going to go down. And we've talked about this multiple times when people play against the Kench, especially in the PCS. Everyone likes to throw their ultimates non-stop at these tanks, but it's just not worth it. And Talon pick up, again, more gold, more kills. In comes Pantheon trying to go back for a re-engage, but Hanabi denies him entrance and is just leading the charge. Mixed Cross is taken down. River is dominating. You could say that for the entirety of Talon as they're looking for their 20th kill of Game 2. Maybe looking for more here as Ryan is going to steal away the Maokai ultimate. 20-2, a 10,000 gold lead before 20 minutes.
I just want to say when Talon gets ahead, they're incredibly scary. It's like a team where they just try to deny any sort of comeback potential and just keep putting salt on the wound. And with Talon 20-2 right now in the kill score, and everybody just taking off right now, especially River. 7-0-13 on this Jarvan is insane.
And there's poor G4. Ends up trying to do what he can, and I have questions here because boom, in comes the Kai. Like, it's going to be another Pantheon ult, 5 feet. And then he just gets caught out immediately.
He wanted the element of surprise. Unfortunately, it was placed in front instead of a little bit further behind. It was more of the safe approach to it since you have your teammates to fall back on. Pop can easily cling on to you with the W. But unfortunately, yeah, you can't. You're unable to reach the backline with that. And Visage on the Maokai, and as well as River. So at this point, it's a little bit crazier, harder to try and eliminate River.
So now River, he's a tanky boy on that Jarvan. You got Nashor's complete. You got Morello's as well online for Candy. Just to cut into the healing that is on the side of Nova. They have a decent amount, especially with Pop, so it's a good first item rush at least. And for Nova, you got Unified who's just hunting down poor Ryan. Oh, poor Ryan. He's got nowhere to run. He's got 3 members of Talon surrounding him. Instantly denied entrance. Using the Emperor's Divide. He doesn't even have a chance to. That's just another quick and easy pickup for Talon.
And that will be pings towards Baron at the 21-minute mark. And for Nova Esports, without the jungler, therefore Talon might be looking into a comfy take. But based on their movements, it seems to me that they're going to opt to pushing the wave burst in mid and then possibly set up for this Baron. It's warded, so Nova is aware. 10 seconds on the clock for Ryan to spawn back.
There we go. Talon starts up the Baron. Doesn't look like Nova are going to try and respond. G4 is nearby. Ryan only just spawns now. With that Azir, they shred it apart pretty good. So it doesn't look like there's going to be even an opportunity for Nova to try and answer. And it's going to be a very early Baron buff going in favor of Talon at 22.5 minutes. Kaiwing and Hanabi just acting as bouncers when it comes to the jungle, making sure no one on the side of Nova can even approach.
I was just about to say, this is quite a tanky front line, and that is just the Maokai and Kaiwing, and you add in River, so Candy and Unified is just very safe away from, oh dear, River.
This is a 2-level advantage coming out from River. He doesn't have to use his ultimate. He might. Ryan's trying to get him to actually pull the trigger. Candy's still coming there. And unfortunately, Ryan's going to have to back off. He could try and save this. Pop is also going to be nearby, gets a bit of a heal. G4 lying in wait. This is the scenario they're looking for on the side of Nova, but the flank's going to come in. In comes Hanabi. Special delivery of the tree, and Nova is just spread apart. They even try and jump in on Candy, but it's too late. G4 is going to get taken down. Rocky underneath his tower. River is going to get tower aggroed, and they get their big shutdown, but unfortunately, it's still just not enough as Pop is getting chunked by these auto attacks. Candy finds himself a double kill. They continue the push here in the top lane with super minions.
That's 22 seconds on the clock for Rocky, more or less 35. That is just 3 members trying to defend against this onslaught.
Ooh, Hanabi going for a ride, hitch a ride. He's going to find Mixcross, and he gets taken down. And they went for a wild trip there if you're on the side of that Maokai. Hanabi's just going to eat up his own ultimate. He doesn't care. It's 24-3. And now you got Baron Dup minions cracking in onto the Nexus towers. G4 wants to make a final hold, but this is Talon making a statement in their first playoff series as they look forward now to their match against AHQ. Kaiwing able to save up the Maokai once again. Rocky's going to try and do what he can. He can't even finish the kill on the Maokai. It's too far, too late, as Talon are just looking to rack up the kills, add on to their stats. As Mixed Cross now spawns, the Talon are just playing with their food. But like we mentioned, a dominating victory over this Nova squad, 27-3. And with their sight set to face HQ in the upper bracket of playoffs.
What a wild game for Talon Esports. And that said, Nova tried their hardest, tried their best, tried to just fall back in their usual playstyle with a little bit mix here and there. Rocky still stood with the Renekton, but Talon again, they're just very, very strong individually and as well as their early game actually. And it's that point where, you know, Talon is strong early and then also does the team fights really, really well at late game. What can't they do?
That was... Well, that was brutal to watch coming out of Talon.
It was, honestly,
Talon,
yeah.
That was a... they were making them bleed crimson all right there, as there was just no mercy coming out of this squad, especially against Nova in the second game. And it all starts with them having an exact game plan to follow through with. The fact they were able to predict the Pantheon level 4 dive onto Hanabi, with River perfectly positioning himself. That was absolutely ridiculous, and that was just the teaser of what was to come of this match.
And the sad part about it is that is definitely what Nova was banking on at that time, getting that successful early game dive, because that's what gets them going. Because once a gank fails, they usually fall back into that farming game, and that is something that they badly needed at that time. And just River really played that very, very well, considering again a teleport coming from Candy as well, so they really read the numbers advantage because you can't win lane. And again, Talon is merciless.
Yeah, it's going to come back toward this mid lane fight into, I believe it was the Dragon that was started up there on the side of Nova, and River just jumps into the fray. You got Kaiwing there, also able to stall out for so long.
Yeah, this was the fight after the Rift Herald, so at this point you have River with 5 kills already, and he stalled so much because of the stopwatch and timing Devour. And in the meantime, you have the carries of Talon, Candy, and Unified eliminating some of the dives. And you saw Rocky just wanted a flash kill, probably just wanting to at least get something out of that. Because at this point, you see Pop put on a ward and then try to eliminate Kaiwing, and it's, yeah, Talon is just very, very strong.
And with that, Talon, a quick 2-0 for their Friday night as they now get to move on to the matchup against AHQ, which should be a spicy one to say the least. Nova, they're going to drop down into the losers bracket and they go up against Hong Kong Attitude.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward for tomorrow, considering that it is a good preview of the preseason rankings. Again, the broadcast team is pretty much half. Either their number 1 is Talon or their number 1 is AHQ. And tomorrow, or rather on Sunday, we're going to finally get that matchup.
And there's a possibility that we get to see, again, this matchup again. There is always that possibility that Nova are able to fight their way back up into the bracket, maybe try and get some revenge here on Talon if Talon drop to AHQ. So, again, the playoff bracket is not over for any of the teams that did lose out their series today, and there's still plenty of opportunity to try and come back here. It's just a little bit of a trip on the road to the final.
Yeah, and MVP, well-deserved.
No
River is, yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, River, from the start of this game, like, I cannot, again, like, give enough compliment to how perfect that early game went for Talon. Predicting that level 4, especially with River placing himself beautifully. And also, again, he got a quadra kill on a Jarvan. When was the last time we had a Jarvan quadra kill?
none in the PCS. That is the very first in the PCS. So pretty wild stuff coming from River. And the thing was, he actually has so many options. Actually, that's 3. Lee Sin, Jarvan, and as well as the Rek'Sai. But this Jarvan is absolutely very scary on River.
Yeah, so it's another one of the champions in his pool that you're going to always have to, you know, always keep track of if you're on the side of their opposing teams, like, you know, AHQ and Machi if they face them once again when it comes to